Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be chiming in on the subject of smallpox. Why is smallpox resurfacing? Weren't we told some time ago that smallpox was eradicated? Weren't we told this? So why are we talking about it now? They're starting to see cases of smallpox resurfacing and we're wondering why. Now, they also found some vials and they're investigating of where these vials came from. Vials of smallpox. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Now, another thing that I find interesting as well is recently Bill Gates has been talking about smallpox. He's been talking about smallpox, so a lot of people are concerned. If you go on Natural News, there is an article on Natural News where they're actually talking about, and they're accusing Bill Gates of a plan. They're basically saying that he has a plan on intentionally releasing this as a bioweapon. Now, one thing that I wanted to say is I also saw an article on pbs.org, and they were telling where the smallpox came from. They were saying that, of course, they changed the story up a little bit. They tried to make it seem like that the Europeans were not aware that they were carrying the smallpox when they came to the New World. But basically, they said that they used smallpox, or that smallpox was the reason why 95% of the native population was wiped out. They almost completely cleared the land after their invasion. Of course, on PBS they did, say that this was an invasion and that they had all kinds of weapons, but the most powerful weapon they had was biological weapons. So it kind of contradicts their theory of them not being aware that they were carrying the smallpox, especially with how dangerous it is, right? And so anyway, there's a history of the smallpox between Europeans and Native Americans. And so now they're saying that it's resurfacing again. And they're also saying that they found some vials, right? And they're also saying that Bill Gates is talking about this as a possible next pandemic. And so Natural News, they go into great detail about what they feel concerning this billionaire eugenicist Bill Gates. It says, is he already signaling the arrival of something? They call this something else, okay? So how would he know this? The question is being raised, how would Bill Gates know that smallpox is going to be the next thing to be concerned with? Now, again, it was highly contagious and highly deadly. And for them to find 15 vials of smallpox, supposedly outside of Philadelphia, they said they were stumbled upon. And so federal agencies are going to be conducting an investigation, but shouldn't we be concerned? Do people have a right to be concerned when you have someone like Bill Gates, who right before these vials are spoken of or found, he had already had a meeting? If I'm not mistaken, I think it was in the UK. I don't think it was here in the US, but he had a meeting somewhere. And he was talking about the possibility. Yeah, it was in the UK. It says, okay, yeah, the UK, it says Bill Gates claims that terrorists are planning to unleash. I chuckled there because on Natural News' website, he put in parentheses himself, okay? But they said Bill Gates basically stated that terrorists are planning to unleash a smallpox bioweapon. And they said, according to Gates, this requires the governments of the world to spend billions of dollars to prevent things, right? And so how would he know? I'm trying to figure out, how would he know? What type of intelligence organizations is reporting to Bill Gates, telling him that terrorists are planning to unleash smallpox as a bioweapon? That's a very, very interesting prediction for him to make, right? And so I think, it's time for us, those of us who are believers, to really entreat the Most High to, protect and to guide, help us to navigate through all of this, because as you see, they're also talking about another very strong, deadly variant of the current pandemic. And somehow that one started over in South Africa, they're saying. So with all of this stuff going around, and PBS.org saying that, one of the strongest weapons that Europeans have been biological weapons. Are they trying to tell us something, y'all? Are they trying to tell us that this is the way that they use to get the upper hand over people, biological weapons? So I would encourage you all to go to these articles and read them in full detail yourself. The one on Natural News, it was published on the 24th, and it says American government poised to unleash. Then ... The rest of it is there, okay? And then on pbs.org, it says the story of smallpox and other deadly Eurasian germs. Okay. It says much of the credit for European military success in the New World can be handed to the superiority of their weapons, their literary heritage, even the fact that they had unique loaded-bearing mammals like horses. These facts combined gave the conquistadors a massive advantage over the sophisticated civilizations of the Aztec and Inca empires. But weapons alone can't account for the breathtaking speed with which the indigenous populations of the New World were completely wiped out. So then they go on to talk about it. They said within a few generations, the continents of the Americas were virtually emptied of their native inhabitants. Some academics estimate that approximately 20 million people may have died in the years following the European invasion, up to 95% of the population of the Americas. It says no medieval force, no matter how bloodthirsty, could have achieved such enormous levels of genocide. Instead, Europeans were aided by a deadly secret weapon, smallpox. They also tried to say that they weren't aware that they were carrying it. Okay. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this strange resurfacing of smallpox again when they said it was eradicated. But now it is appearing again. And it was also stated that it was a European bioweapon. Ain't that something? So again, to all of the people who think we're supposed to ignore history, just simply ignore it. Let it fade into the pages of the past. What about stuff that resurfaces? Stuff that can take out whole populations, as it did with the native populations here in America. Those of you who say we shouldn't talk about Thanksgiving in a negative way, because after all, the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, they came together. No, that's not what happened. I know that this is what is being reported. I saw another article where there was a Native American young woman. She was talking about how when she would see how Thanksgiving was treated, she said one time around Thanksgiving, she saw a little blonde boy with blue eyes with a Native American head dress, or the feather on his head. She said they were walking around like they're paying some type of, giving some type of honor to our people by wearing this, letting their kids wear this. And it was almost as if they were completely oblivious to their suffering. This is what the young Native American girl was saying. And she was just, because she lived in an area around a bunch of whites, she saw how they just completely ignored the massacre of her people. And they want to push it off as some day that is supposed to be celebrated and revered. But she says, but I know the true history. So think about that. To those of you who think we're supposed to just think of Thanksgiving as some wonderful day where they perpetuated this lie and said that the natives and the pilgrims came together, that is not what happened. Let the natives tell their story. Don't give a American version of the story to try to pretend like this is a wonderful holiday where people come together in love and harmony and peace. That is not what happened. Don't ask the Native Americans to squash their history so that Europeans could feel comfortable not hearing what their ancestors did. Pretty much all around the world, this is what we are faced with. I mean, they want everyone to not talk about what was done to them at their hands. Would you want someone to hide what was done to you? Anyway, I'm done with this story. In the comment section below, remember to keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time. We hope you liked today's topic. Please leave your comments below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, share it, like this video, and with that, we're out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.